everything at HSN, but when I saw how this worked on air, I said I gotta get it, and I've had mine, and I gotta tell you, I love it. I do so many meals inside here, whether I'm doing a stir fry, whether I'm making soup or chili, whether I'm doing a pot of meatballs, I'm making stock out of chicken, whatever it is, I use the Starfrit. It is a huge customer pick on hsn.com. How we do this for $49 instead of $89, which I would gladly pay, I don't know, but I will tell you, it is totally self-contained, one pot cleanup. It's got a built-in, what they call Rock.Tec nonstick inside, which blows everything else away. I've never seen anything like it. It's 4.5 liters. It's an electric multi-pot, so you have that great built-in electric, so you don't have to have this. It takes place away from your stove, so you have an extra burner whenever you need it. It's great at holiday time, and adjustable temperature control up to 400 degrees. So yes, you can saute, you can stir fry, you can boil, you can slow cook, you can keep warm. It comes with a tempered glass lid. I have about 500 of these. We just reordered it. I just got them back in stock. It's gonna be first come, first serve. Before Stephanie gets started in showing you all our wonderful demos, let me show you the unit itself. First of all, the technology of how they create this nonstick is very, very neat. They use actually steel balls and they peen this thing, which means they rough shot it. It creates lots of little divots inside. You can't really see them, but you can feel them. Those aid the nonstick capacity of this. That's how that works. It's extra thick. You have this cast aluminum, great conductor of heat. 2 helper handles, so if I want to disconnect the electric and I want to take it to the table, I can do that as well. And let's talk about that electric. This thing is the key, being able to get the perfect temperature control, because you know when you're frying, you got to be around 360 to 380, okay? That's normally where you're frying, all right? And if you're sauteing, stir frying, crank it up all the way to 400. If you want to leave it out on the table and just put it on the keep warm setting so your guests can serve themselves, turn it down to 200 and let it just relax. You got a tempered glass lid with a steam vent that fits inside. So if you want to slow cook all day, you can do that as well. All right, if you want to do big things of rice, you know what I do? I take a sheet of foil, I put it over the top, and I put that on because your rice cooks in a sealed environment and you don't get any of that drip as well. This machine totally rocks, and that is why we call it the Rock.
The Rock.
They gave us a little extra time on this because we have 500. I have a feeling they're going to sell out, but I will tell you, if you just use it to make chicken soup.
Absolutely.
Or to cook this chicken stock you make. This is the best chicken I've ever eaten.
Yep.
It's not done in an oven. It's done in the multi-pot.
And first of all, capacity, right? You've got 4.8 liters. I've got a full 6-pound roaster in here, and it's forkable. It is literally falling apart, as you can tell. Of course you can.
I have to try this.
And then you've got the gorgeous broth and the veggies. So this time of year, I use this just for poaching chicken. You know, I'm not necessarily making the whole soup, but you know, I'm not turning on the oven. I'm not heating up the house, but I have this amazing chicken that I make chicken salad. Then I do whatever I want to do with it. But you've got the gorgeous stock, and you've got this pot that will do whatever you want it to do.
Oh my gosh, look at the stock there. All you need to do is add some noodles at the end of the day, and you're good to go. And what's nice too, if I want to use this on my buffet, I turn the heat down and let people serve themselves.
Absolutely. I love the little feet at the bottom because that means it's table safe. I can put it on my buffet. I can pack it up and take it with me. So as Guy said, this is a very strong cast aluminum. And what I love about that, I get a great sear, a great saute. So I've thrown my ground beef in.
You're browning in there.
Right in here. This is true one-pot cooking. I threw my chili spices in there. I'm gonna go ahead and fire in my sauce and my beans. Then we're gonna let this saute. But let's fast forward to football season because I'm always thinking about it, right? So we are headed to tailgate. Bring this with you. Bring it with you. You could, a lot of people have those convertible plugs so you can keep it plugged in if you're tailgating out in the field with the car. But guess what? Even if you don't plug it in, you're gonna stay warm. You've got the heat control so that you can put it all together and be good to go. I've got my clear lid, and here's the deal. I pull the plug, I bring this with me wherever I am going, and I'm portable. So I love it for so many different things. And Guy's favorite, a shallow fry.
Hey, listen, because you know what, I want a pan that does more than just, I don't own a deep fat fryer just because I'm like, it does one thing at deep fat fries. This does a whole bunch of different things. I want you to look at this beautiful chicken. I'm gonna put it on this towel just really quickly, and I want you to see how perfectly and crispy. Look at this, is so ridiculous.
So a lot of us don't own fryers for the very reason you mentioned. Number one, they spatter oil everywhere. Number two, they are one-trick ponies. All they do is deep fry. This has such a great shape. It's rare that you find a pan with this kind of depth.
Look at this chicken.
That's electric. Now, why do I want it to be electric for Guy's Perfect Fried Chicken? Because I am controlling the temperature of this oil absolutely perfectly so that I can get the perfect fry. I can control my temperature. We are standing in front of hot, open oil, and there's no spatters because of the electric. I know that I'm exactly at 325
where
right now.
Where you need to be, right.
Where I want it to be, and I've got that heat. I would never wave my hands over open oil anywhere else, but I have got the heat coming up the sides around it perfectly evenly.
It is an amazing cooker, and I'm telling you, try this out. This is only $49.95 today. It's a huge customer pick. Everybody loves the thing, and I think it's a great value because what you would normally go buy a saute pan. And I'd buy a saute pan, I'd pay $100 for a decent saute pan, okay?
Absolutely.
What's amazing, for half the price, you get an electric, which brings you away from the stove, which is sometimes very, very nice when you can be on your regular kitchen counter and you have another cooking area.
Especially in the summer.
Yeah, totally.
Get away from that thing.
You can do these one-pot meals like our stir fry, and guess what? We don't have to babysit it. It's not gonna stick inside there because of that finish that we've talked about earlier.
Yeah, this is Starfrit's proprietary thing, this finish. So metal utensils, no big deal. Remember, this has already been hit with metal so that I can get this natural non-stick. This is not a coating. Kind of feels like an orange peel. It's a little rough. Now, again, what I love so much about this electric cooking is the even temperature. I'm gonna crank this up a little bit, get some high heat. We're gonna walk away. I've got sticky teriyaki sauce on the bottom here. This is the natural non-stick. In fact, you can already start to see it. Look at what's happening in there.
Yeah,
there is no stick whatsoever going on down here.
It's the easiest pan to clean ever. You just rinse it out underneath the sink. You don't even have to put this in a dishwasher, none of that. Just rinse it out. But really what's the key to this thing is the fact that we're getting great heat conduction inside here. We're actually gonna burn some sugar in here.
Yeah, this is our ultimate test of the nonstick. So we are so confident in both the even heating and the natural nonstick of the Rock technology. I'm gonna go ahead and get some sugar caramelizing. I'm gonna leave this here, set it about 350. We'll stir it a couple times. We'll come back and check it out. But that is able to do that. I would never do this on the stovetop because it wouldn't be even.
So we want you to kind of get an overhead shot here. We're gonna show you the reveal here. So basically what I want you to know is there's a difference in electrics. Some electrics work really well. Some have hot spots, cold spots, and when you get the big giant ones, there's a small element inside. Look at the boil that we have on this, and you can see how it's rolling, okay? Pasta, whether you're doing, pasta salads or whatever, we can put the biggest spaghetti in here. And it works
perfectly. Okay, thank you, Starfrit, for coming up with a pan that is the perfect size of spaghetti, of fettuccine, of linguine. I don't have to sit there and poke at it until I can get half of it cooked and half of it down. It lays flat in here every single time. Think about the electric heat conduction that because it's even around all sides and bottom of the pot, I can get a rolling boil, I can put it in here, then I can turn it down. It's never gonna boil over. I'm never gonna have that sticky pasta residue all over my stove. This is so much faster because it's around all edges.
All right, we started with 500. Kyle, my producer, just said, okay, now we have 400. I know, it's so early, but I know people look at this and they're like, I gotta have that stir fry pan. It's not just for stir fries. I make meatballs all the time, but I used to bake my meatballs off in the oven, so now I have the oven going. I got
and they dry out. They dry out.
Well, it's just another appliance I have to turn on.
And it's hot.
Now, since I got this, I brown all my meatballs first. Okay, make them first. Then I brown them all inside in olive oil. Then I add my my sauce, which is basically San Marzano crushed tomatoes, a little sugar, a little of this, a little of that. I cover it and I turn that heat down to about 225, and I let them cook for 2 hours. I like them to cook for a long time. All right, because I want the cheese and all the spices that are in the meatballs to actually go out into the sauce. And at the end of the day, it's amazing. Then I turn the heat down, get some sub rolls,
and you're good to go.
Have some people over, make your own hoagies.
And you know that it's 225 because you have this specific electric control dial. So this reminds me of the big old griddle that we used to cook on, and quite honestly, I still cook my pancakes on an electric griddle. Why do we like those? Because the temperature is so even.
They have to be made well because there are some cheapos on the market out there.
Well, they have bad nonstick.
Yeah, or they don't put a big enough element in the bottom.
Correct.
You go to one of the closeout stores and you see a pan and you're like, it's cheapo. This For $49.95 is one of the best values I've ever seen at HSN, because I know cookware and I know what I look for in cookware. I love aluminum because aluminum's a great conductor of heat. I love that it's footed, so it's nice and solid. I love an electric. I never used to use electric until about 8 or 9 years ago. I got an electric fry pan that my mom gave me that she had used, and I was like, man, that thing's pretty cool. A little old school, and it didn't have any, it was all stainless.
Yours didn't have this.
No, it didn't have this.
Yours didn't have Rock.Tec. So what you're seeing here is what Starfrit actually does to the surface of their pans. They hit it with those little metal balls. It's called shot peening, and fun fact, it's what the military does to their aircraft to make them strong. So that's why I say you can beat these things up and hit them with the metal utensils. Don't worry about it. So, by the way, capacity, look at the size of this pork shoulder. That is a huge, massive piece of meat. You are going to be feeding an entire party. Again, absolutely forkable. It is so tender. Yeah. But do you see the caramelization on the outside? We seared it first. We put it in here. We gave it a good sear. Then we cooked it. By the way, this cooks in a couple of hours on your countertop. This is not a slow cooker because we can turn it up to 350. But my juices are still in here, so I'm not going to dry out. It's quicker to do things in the oven than a slow cooker. We all know that. But then you're running the oven. I don't have a great glass lid maybe that I'm using in my oven to keep my moisture in. Oh, that looks good. Yeah. Good shredding there. I love that. No worries. So now we are having the perfect pulled pork right here on the countertop. Maybe we're going over to Mom's house, right? Sure. Mom didn't want to do the cooking. I bring 4 boys everywhere I go, and nobody wants to cook for us anymore. So I'm going to cook at home, and I'm going to bring this with me because it's that easy to transport. Set it up on the counter with the feet, and Mom's like, oh, wow, you did all the work. Exactly. Do the work at home, bring it with you to where you are going, and you are good to go.
I'll just wipe the rest on the meat like that. I love it.
You know what else this does remind me of, but yet the big upgraded version? You know, we used to do our stir fry, since you've done such a good job sitting mine down there, in our woks, right? Well, what was the worst thing about those woks?
Oh my gosh.
The coating.
Everything.
Oh, the coating, that horrible nonsense.
Yeah, well, you can't use metal utensils in there.
You can't use metal. You have to be worried about what's happening to your food. Whereas here, we've got this on a good high saute, and you're probably pretty close to done there.
Pretty dang close, but I want you to see inside. And I can move things off to the side, and they hold just like they do on a really good wok. And I can reduce the sauce in the center, which is what I'm doing now. You can see my shrimp is all cooked and ready to go. We have about 4 minutes. I'll give this 1 more minute and let it reduce down a little bit longer.
I love doing these shows with Guy since he's so good in the kitchen because we can cook simultaneously.
We totally can.
You're working on the stir fry. I want you to check out my sugar here. So I literally put sugar in this pan, and that's it. I would never do this on the stovetop, even in my really good cookware, because the stovetop simply isn't even. Now I'm starting to see that sugar caramelize. I'm getting the melt on here. I'm getting that gorgeous brown color. And this is how you make the bananas, Foster.
Oh my gosh.
This is how you make the amazing
look, now
peach.
You see it's browning, but it's not sticking whatsoever.
Not a bit. I mean, there is not even one residual bit of stick here. And why I love that is because of cleanup. You know, we're gonna do all these things. I mean, from the chicken to the chili to the fried chicken to the wok to the pasta to the pork, and now I'm literally melting sugar on the bottom of this pan. Are you kidding me? That is so great to be able to do. And I literally could wipe the entire thing clean with a damp cloth. I mean, I really am not even gonna need to soap, and I'm never gonna have to scrub.
No, it really makes your life easy. And if you don't wanna heat up the burners and all that stuff, and you just wanna do a 1-pot meal without the cleanup, I'm telling you, I am so impressed with this product. Because honestly, when I get things, I look for things that I can pick on. Because I'm like, okay, there's gotta be some catch. Something doesn't work. And I got this guy home, and I was like, all right, so far, every single thing I've done, I've deep fried in it, I've sauteed in it, I've done a stir fry. You don't have to add any fat or any calories to this. We didn't put any oil in this stir fry.
Not once.
We put the veggies in, and I'm showing, the reason I'm doing it this way is I want you to see the bottom of the pan at the end of the day, because we have that sweet caramelized teriyaki sauce, and you'll see at the bottom there, I mean, look at inside here. There is nothing sticking inside there, okay?
No.
And I can use my my spoon. I'm gonna unplug it, take it apart, add a little sauce on top here, and that's really all that I need to do.
And all you would do is wipe that out. I mean, there's no scrubbing. Cleanup could not be easier.
No.
So think about people that maybe need an update to their cookware, but they don't need a whole new set. There's nothing I can't do in here. I mean, this is one pot that does everything. There's no reason to say I couldn't fry a couple eggs on the bottom here and be good to go. Maybe you have a vacation home. Maybe you're RVing. Remember, all you need is a little bit of power, and you are going to be able to do everything you can do with a full set of cookware. Okay, this is one of my weaknesses in life, is when we start to do these caramelized fruits. I love it for peaches. I love it for bananas. I am on a pretty good boil here with my sugar. Again, look at what's happening on the bottom of this pan. There is not one bit of stick. Oh, Guy, tell me you wouldn't serve this for dessert in one of the best restaurants.
Yeah, where's the rum?
Right there. Exactly.
Where's the rum, man?
We could flambe this baby and really have it going. But this is an amazing caramelization. It could not be smoother. It could not be coming away from the natural nonstick better. And now I turn down the temperature, and we could be serving ourselves over ice cream, maybe even over pancakes, since it is morning.
Makes life so easy. It
and
really
look at
does.
this. The pasta is ready to go in half the time on my stovetop because I've kept it at a